Hey, how's it going? We are back again for our monthly feature update. It is April feature updates. I've got Kevin with me here. Kevin, how you doing?
Think I fell off there for a sec. There we go. Yeah. I'm doing well. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, we're gonna jump right into this. We do this every month, so you'll want to make sure you subscribe to this channel here. And you hit that bell icon so you know when we talk about our features. We're really excited about the upcoming quarter as well. We've got a lot of things that we are continually working on, again, specifically for land investing. So let's start with the big one here. I think this is pretty awesome. And I think it will be a huge time saver for a lot of people. This is our new global search, Kevin. Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this came out of a request from our users saying that they wanted to be able to quickly find something without a lot of digging. So imagine the phone rings. You're going to pick up the phone and they're going to say, "Hey, I got a letter from you. My name is such and such, or here's my offer code." I want to be able to pull open Pebble and quickly find them without having to, like, okay, first go to the contacts or go to the properties and look them up by APN. I just want to be able to type in something into the search bar and have it work instantly. And so that's what we've done. So up here, are we able to see my screen here? Yeah. So now up at the very top of the page, you will see this global search bar. So I can type in anything into here, whether that's a contact name. You'll see that I'll have properties or deals. I can search for campaign records. So I've got a campaign record 142001, and that's going to bring up my campaign record here. I can quickly open that up, see my letter. I can create a deal right from here. So, yeah, this is just a way to really quickly be able to search. And this can be anything from your deals, contacts, properties. So you can search by APN up there, campaign codes. What else? Conversations, I believe. Yeah. So basically anything you can think of, you can search for it there. It'll quickly show you the results and let you get rocking. So yeah, that's global search.
Awesome. Well, here's another search here. Search phone slash email by name. Can you know what that is about?
Yeah. So when you are composing a new conversation, so let's say that you are composing an email or a text message. Previously, you would have to either type in an email here just by knowing the email or finding the contact and clicking their email from there. Now you can search here by that contact's name. So let's say I wanted to email Lester here. I can search them by name, click that, and it's going to fill in their email. I can keep typing in other people and it will fill in their email there. So just helps sort of shortcut that process of composing an email. This also works for text messages. So I can just search for somebody's name and it'll pull up from my contacts list that person, put their email there so I can quickly type that email out.
Awesome. There is our updated property filters. And I always felt like our filters were already so powerful.
Yeah.
And just to kind of give you context here, when you're uploading tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of property records, what Pebble allows you to do is like filter down and drill down to certain property records and allow you to handle all that data. And
Mhm.
we have great filters that allow you to filter down to the specific property field or a range of acreage or a square footage of a property or whatever it may be. But I think we've simplified this even more in terms of how you can sort of do this. So let's talk a little bit about that, Kevin.
Yeah, so this will be rolling out over the next week or so. So if you don't see this yet, it will be coming shortly. But we've simplified this bar on this is again the properties page, so your properties database. And like Jesse said, this is just a test user here, but it's got almost 70,000 properties. If you've been using Pebble for any length of time, you will likely have many thousands of properties. And so it's important to be able to pull up and filter those properties fast and efficiently. And so we've tried to do that with these new property filters. So we've got a few that are the top level ones. So these are, for example, filtering by county. So these are all the counties that I have. I can search individual counties here. Let's say I just wanted to search for these Alabama counties. I can do that. I can search by APN. I can search by the property's address if I've entered that. And then I've also got my tags that I can search for here as well. In addition, we have all of the other filters, and this is where things get really powerful, are down here under the more filters panel. So I can search by acreage, structure details. So if I'm going after houses and I want to look specifically for two-bedroom houses, I can do that. I've got owner details. I can search by all of my buyers. I can search by phone number, name, any sale data, deals, whether a property has a deal, if it's in a certain stage, and then all of my custom fields here as well. So all of those things are available here to filter by your property filters. I'll also mention that another nice part about this, let's say I want to search for all properties that are between 10 and 40 acres. You'll see now that the selection that you've picked shows up here under the top bar. So it's very easy to see what filters I have in place. And then I can quickly filter these down or remove these if I want to. So let's say I don't want to filter by acreage anymore. I just click that X and now I'm back into filtering just by those two counties. So that's sort of the updated property filters. We think this will be just a little bit smoother process for doing your filtering.
Yeah, and it's taking it a step further when you're filtering. What are we going to do with that? Well, when you filter down to a segment of properties in your list, well, maybe you want to export it out to get it skip traced. Maybe you want to remail that campaign. You want to remarket those properties. You can easily do so using those
Mhm.
filters. So it's a really, really powerful tool. It allows you to have control over all the data that you have and pull out the ones you need exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I want to quickly talk about we have a webinar coming up. This is going to happen on May 12th. This is the winning postcard webinar. I did this actually back in February, and I think a lot of people found it quite valuable. One of the interesting things is like we can dig into the data and get an understanding of what's performing. And what really sets Pebble apart is that we sort of see the entire loop, right? You get your mailing out, you get your marketing out, and those leads feed right back into the system. And unlike a print house or maybe a CRM, whatever, they only see half the picture. Here inside of Pebble, we get the entire loop here and we can see everything that is going on. And there's so many interesting things that we've seen and what works and what doesn't. And clearly, you can see by the title there, the winning postcard, we see something very, very evident about postcards that I want to make sure we share and the structure behind that. What kind of postcards perform well, what kind of messaging performs well, and I've got a framework on how you can build on that messaging, because we shouldn't be sending the generic letters where it's just like, hey, fast cash 30-day turnaround type of thing. Like, that's not really going to get into the minds of sellers. We really want to stand out and we want to be solving a problem. So I'm really excited to share this framework with you. I call it the 2-layer framework for postcards. This is happening. If you head over to pebblerei.com/winning postcards, you can sign up for that and you'll hold your seat for that. So that's happening on May 12th. All right. I love this segment here. Feature reminders. There's so much inside of Pebble that, again, we built here and that we want to streamline for land investors. And I want to talk about a specific feature that gets missed a lot of the times. And that's our neighbor letter feature. A lot of our good percentage of properties get offloaded to neighbors or neighboring parcels or nearby neighbor owners in the area. And Pebble makes this so easy to do this. You simply need to go into a property record, generate a document of your choice. So in this instance, you're going to generate a neighbor letter or a neighbor postcard, right? And it'll actually append the images automatically if you have the images on that property and you have the placeholder on that document. It'll pull that right in. And when you generate that document, all you need to do is when you send that piece of mailing, you can what is the button? Is it send by map?
Yeah, yep. So you'll select addresses by the map
Yeah.
and you can just lasso.
You can just lasso a bunch of properties, 50, 60 properties, and out it goes the next
Mhm.
business day. And this is incredibly time saving. I remember when I first did my very first neighbor letter, I tried to perfect it. I had two of them because of the neighboring parcels. I didn't bother with the other people that own parcels in the area, which I wish I did. And it took me like 45 minutes to do like these two letters. And then I had to walk to the mailbox. I'm up here in Canada. I literally mailed it from Canada here to those neighbors. And now, with no minimums inside of Pebble, you can get your neighbor letters out in 25 seconds flat. We got timed on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast a while ago, and you can get that out very, very quickly. So I
Yeah,
do
I'll also say that the fastest flip I ever did was via a neighbor letter. I got a property under contract, and the same day I sent out a neighbor letter, and it was like a Tuesday, sent it out first class. I got a call on Friday. I'll buy the property full asking price. And so I hadn't even taken title of it yet, but I had sold the property and made like 15 grand in 3 days. So yeah,
um,
definitely neighbor letters work.
yeah. Awesome. So again, getting out your mailing, getting out your neighbor letters, easy to do inside of Pebble. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us on this month's feature update of April 2026. Kevin, thanks again for sharing and demoing some of these features. We will see you guys next month. Don't forget to subscribe. That bell icon will just notify you when we do these and when these come live. It'll also give you notification about our podcasts and other tutorials and other videos that we upload on this channel. Anyways, we'll see you guys next month. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Okie dokie.